Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Hopefully you guys are all having a wonderful day. Today's upload is going to be a sort of a long-range outlook update, but also me discussing the pattern that could be setting up for the next couple of weeks that looks fairly interesting, and we'll need to definitely keep an eye on it. So before we get into this video, however, consider subscribing to my channel, consider liking the video, consider leaving a comment. You may be wondering why to do so. Well, if you're a returning member, not necessarily a subscriber, just a viewer, and you've watched my videos, enjoyed them, then I'm just reminding you could subscribe. It helps out my channel. It's free for you, and it's a win-win. So consider doing that. If you're new to my channel and this is your first video, check out my channel, check out my other videos on this channel, and then you could decide whether you like this channel or not, and you could subscribe. So that's just a reminder that subscribing helps out a lot. Also, commenting is also very nice. Always motivates me to make these videos for you guys. So first off, I just want to look at the GFS MSLP/precip, and you can see that as of now, it's fairly quiet. There's two high pressures, one just off the coast of the southeast and one in northeastern Canada. And they're basically dominating for much of the eastern half of the country, and in the west, there's just not much going on. However, this changes quickly. By Saturday, you can see a couple of little showers break through, and then this could be a wicked line, actually, of storms. Breaks out through Saturday around September 1st time frame, which is officially the first day of fall meteorologically wise. Astronomically, it is September 21st, but meteorologically it's September 1st, so that makes Saturday the first day of fall. And you can see that there's just going to be a lot of precip, and this is where I'm talking about with this pattern. This pattern may be conducive to more of a severe weather pattern. It's a very interesting pattern setting up. We could be seeing warm temperatures along with much above average precip, which could lead to some heavy flooding, heavy rain, and just in general influx of severe weather, which we will need to keep an eye on. So this pattern could be more prone to severe weather. In terms of temperatures, again, it will be above average. The video I made a couple of days ago on the cold front did happen, but that was only temporarily, and it wouldn't extend into next week or this upcoming one. So you can see there, this is Sunday, another system right here centered in southwestern United States, around the Four Corners area, spits out these storms. You can see, and you already see these dark red flare-ups of T-storms, thunderstorms. That basically means that that severe weather might be going on. I think a lot of tornado warnings, tornado watches, severe weather warnings could be going up this upcoming week, next couple of weeks. So you can see that dies down. But then every day, if we just go through this, every day there's just like a pop-up chance of storms. You can see that this is Tuesday, still rain for much of the country. Not much, but as showed by the GFS, which means that much of the country has a chance of rain. And you can see a couple of more well-organized systems out in central, southern Canada, but a little bit, I would say maybe 500, 600 miles up into the border. You can see by James Bay, I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. You can see there's a low that's fairly organized, and we will start seeing these systems more and more often now, due to the fact that fall is approaching and these systems just get more well organized. So you can see again the rain continues across the eastern half of the country, and in fact we actually get this one system that develops right here and could be very potent, producing a lot of rain, a lot of moisture. Again, this is far out, but typically with the rain systems like this, GFS this far out usually has a good handle in terms of that there will be an influx of precip. Not necessarily that this storm will form, but in exactly the same place, maybe not the exact same amount of rain, but there's a fairly good probability that this storm will be forming. And you can see some snow up there in Canada, so that is definitely a sign of fall. You can see September 12th. At this point, we keep going forward, and it does seem to slow down a bit, but then you can see the snow almost making it down into the U.S.-Canada border. Now I'd like to show you the total accumulated precip. You can see a lot. That's the main situation. A lot of precip for anywhere basically east of the Rockies, above average precip. Maybe a couple of locations in North Dakota below. But I'll show you in a minute NOAA's 8 to 14 day outlook. It is much above average. And you can see that anywhere you see these darker red colors, that is above 6 inches. Anywhere you see those hints of yellow, that is above around 10, 12 inches of rain. Now, will these exact locations as pointed out by this map get as much rain as shown? Probably not, but let's say you're picking an area like central Indiana and you're forecasted to get around 4 inches of rain. Well, with thunderstorms, their nature is that north of that area could get 6, 7 inches, while south of that area could get 1, 2. But on average, the GFS just averaged out, the models averaged it out, and just put out 4 for the whole area. So there definitely will be some numbers that are higher than this, but this doesn't mean that your location will get that high number, or they might not even get the number average pointed out by here. So generally focused on a lot of this rain is focused on central, northern Illinois, eastern Iowa. Just basically the main states are going to be Illinois, southern Wisconsin, Iowa, northern Missouri. And trust me, a lot of these areas right in here have been lacking rainfall. They are actually in a drought, an exceptional drought, I think, in some locations. So they'll take any rain they can get. Also, you can see the tropical Atlantic is acting up. A lot of moisture coming in. So there's also a major chance of a hurricane forming in the Atlantic, which as of now I think is tropical Invest 6, something like that, along those lines. So now I'd like to quickly go to 8 to 14 day outlook by NOAA. Sorry, I didn't have this pulled up earlier. And you can see that in terms of temperatures, much above average for much of the country, just excluding the northwest, maybe slightly below average. And then the precipitation probability, you can see in those areas where there is above average temperatures, there's going to be above average precip, so that those things overlying could produce lots of severe weather and issues. Also, if we look at the PWAT, which is precipitable water air, something along those lines, I completely forgot, but it's total precipitable water basically in the atmosphere, and the more of it there is, then the more the storms can tap into and produce more rain. So basically, the more of this is, the more rain that area will most likely get. So let's go to hour 0. You can see right now mix between dry conditions from the high pressure and low and moisture conditions associated with the lows, and that's typically how it works. The high pressures bring nice, dry, calm weather, while the lows bring storms, unsettled, wet weather. And you can see that there's an influx around Saturday, Sunday, when I was talking about those storms around the start of fall, September 1st. You could see, so that could definitely produce a lot of storms. And at this point in time, you could see that these storms, or this pattern, will produce just a lot of precipitable water in the atmosphere, put a lot of moisture in the air. And this lines up perfectly, if we go back to the MSLP and rain unfrozen, with the rain that's happening across the country. So these things do correlate to each other, and they are very interlocked with each other. So you can see that continues for a long time. And once you start getting into these blue colors, that is just ridiculously above average in terms of total precipitable water in the atmosphere. But again, that doesn't last for long, thankfully, and doesn't last over the same area. But you can see with these more organized systems, really high, up to 5.4, I think this is percent, or I'm not really sure exactly what that is again, that measure, but it'll really above average in terms of the precip in the atmosphere for much of the country, at least eastern half of the country. And then you can see it does slow down a little bit, but still above average for a lot of the country. And then the system that I was talking about, producing a lot of rain, you can see with it, there's a lot of precipitable water in the atmosphere, which would be conducive to severe storms. And along with this, guys, we have warm temperatures, really warm temperatures. If we go to hour 0 right now, you can see some cooler temperatures mixed in with this, but then if you focus on especially the eastern half of the country, you can see just warm conditions every day. Some cooler conditions in the western half, but we're focusing more on this pattern in terms of the east due to the fact that this will produce much more storminess and much more stormier weather. So you can see that especially around the time frame from around Labor Day weekend, so around starting Saturday all the way through, I think, the next week, or that same week, Thursday. Basically, the whole week should be above average temperatures for much of the eastern half of the country and parts of the western half, but intermixed with this some cooler air. But as as shown by NOAA's temperature probability, you can see that, or the Climate Prediction Center, you can see above average for a lot of areas, above average in terms of precip, and that would be more conducive to severe thunderstorms. So, a very interesting pattern shaping up a very, a very interesting pattern, a very I'm running out of words, guys. I am sorry, but it's been a long day. But a very unique pattern. That's what I was trying to find. A unique pattern shaping up. So now let's go to the actual GFS 2-meter air temperature. You can see 80s, 90s for much of the eastern. I mean, look at that. That is just ridiculous. 90, 89, 90, 91. Those are really warm temperatures for September. Look at that. 90s extending all the way into Canada. This is ridiculous. And you can see during the night, not much cooler. 70s. That's very warm. It's like today we had a day in 72. The daytime high was 70, and then here you could have the nighttime lows in the 70s. So this is definitely very warm temperatures. But then as I was talking, you could see, as I was showing earlier, that this definitely does cool down. And by this 12th of September 15th, sorry, not the 12th, by September 15th, you could see around that time frame, halfway through the month, these temperatures really back down, and the days will seem to be going only out into the 60s and upper 50s. So obviously fall is coming, cooler temperatures are on the way, but we still have a couple more weeks of this warm weather and more prone to severe weather. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please consider subscribing to my channel. Please consider liking the video. If you like these long-range forecast updates, leave a comment saying you like them, because I also like making them for you guys. So thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all guys in the next episode.